you want to do you want to, in fact, it starts from when they're little. Pick out what they wear. Not like anything wrong with that, but as the children begin to grow up, I mean, you should allow them some freedom. But the typical authoritarian parents will probably pick out what the child wants to wear, insist they wear it. As they get older, insist on who they befriend, just insisting and insisting and insisting. The helicopter parents, might even go to the extent of you just escorting them everywhere. They just want to be in the child's life. On the surface, it looks like, oh, this is a loving parent. But what the child is, it doesn't allow the child to grow. So the child is tied to the parents' apron strings, and it becomes a problem later in life. So these children usually turn to have a passive attitude to life. They just kind of expect that somebody will, prod them along the way. So those are some of the effects of authoritarian parenting. The next one, like the name goes, these parents are MSK. They allow their children a free hand. So you might say this is like the opposite of the authoritarian parent. These children are not given any boundaries. There are no boundaries set for the children. Just like the authoritarian parents feel that children are little adults, feel that children will always be children, and they don't even seem to realize that children grow and that they need different skills as they become adults. Permissive parents have few rules, any, and most times the rules are inconsistent. So let me give you an example. You probably have heard a mother say to her son, I will beat you, and they never do anything. And then I'll beat you, and the child says, Mommy, I know you won't beat me. So that's not permissive. So even when they say they have rules, they never do anything. So a mom might say to the child, or a father might say to the child, if you don't do your homework, you will not watch TV. The child doesn't do the homework, and they get to watch TV. There are rules, but rules are not followed. And then permissive parents try to be more like friends rather than parents. There's this fear that, oh, what if my child doesn't love me? What if my child, becomes afraid of me? What if my child? And while our intention as parents or our goals should be to get our children to, in fact, it's even natural. You don't even need to get your child to love you. Your child will love you, regardless. So we should not be afraid of incurring, their displeasure. When we're raising children, we are parents first and foremost. We're not friends. That's not our goal. Our goal is not to become their friend, it's to guide them, So permissive parents have this fear. They want their children to just love them and the truth is your child. Okay, so there's no need to buy the child's love. So there's this fear. My child will not like me if I'm too strict. Now, the effect of this, you've probably been at a mall where a child bumps into you, and you're kind of expecting the mom to correct the child, and they don't even notice. Or you've probably been to a friend's house, and as you're entering the house, the friend is grabbing your bag and trying to see what is in it. Or maybe you're on your phone, and the child comes and tries to grab your phone from your hand, and you're expecting the mom or to say something, and they don't say anything. So these are some of the effects. It raises children who kind of become, they could become selfish, because I mean, no boundaries have ever been set for them. They just believe they can do whatever they want, and when they don't get what they want, they begin to throw tantrums. And don't be surprised. You probably, in fact, you probably have even encountered adults who throw tantrums, and you begin to wonder, why is this person so immature? They want you to do something. It might be a friend. They want you to maybe help them somewhere, and you're like, oh, I'm not able to have so and so to do, and they just stop talking to you. It comes from this place because they've always had their way. So if you as much as oppose them, it becomes a problem. And they are likely to use aggression. Okay, so let me explain that a 2-year-old will throw tantrums, roll on the floor, roll back, kick, scream, bite, pinch. A 40-year-old can do that. However, they will be aggressive. So they want something and you don't give it to them. Understand, because they've not been told that there are people involved apart from them. So they think it's all about them. So if they don't get their way, and one other effect of this parenting style is, and research backs it up, shows that as these children begin to get older, they begin to experiment with reckless behavior. So they might experiment with alcohol at a really tender age. They might experiment with sex at a really tender age. And the reason is because no boundaries have been set. All their lives, if they wanted something, they got it. So they really don't have a sense of certain things are right, certain things are wrong. You know, there have to be boundaries here and there. The next one we're going to look at is called uninvolved parenting. Okay. As you can see, this little boy is trying to get his father's attention. Now think about uninvolved parenting. It's a little tricky here. For me, the biggest problem with this type of parenting is the emotional detachment. Now there are two types of uninvolved parenting. There's the part where and you find this in the low income areas. There's the part where the basic needs of the child, basic needs are not met. So the child is probably hungry most of the time. Clothing the child doesn't get to wear. They probably go to good schools, and even when they go to school, they're left on their own, unattended. And I'm sure if you go out, you see little children. Sometimes if you leave your house as early as 6 o'clock, there are children accompanied, you know, and you begin. Now I understand the circumstances. The parents need to, you know, provide, and maybe there's no one else to look after the child. But it doesn't change the fact that these children are going to suffer as a result of that. So that's one aspect where the child's needs are not met, where the basic comforts that the child requires are not provided. However, there's another form of uninvolved, and for me, this is even more dangerous, and the effects more lasting, and that is the emotional detachment. You know, when you're uninvolved emotionally, in this case, the child might even have everything they need. They go to the best schools, you know, they are driven from home to school, expensive trips, you know, expensive devices and all of that. However, they do not bond with their parents. And it's not because the parents don't care, it's just because the parents are also dealing with their own issues. And the sad thing about this type of parenting is that there's a possibility that these children who grow up in this kind of homes will also raise children who are also emotionally distant. Okay, so this kind of parents, there's no connection, they don't offer any supervision. Now, being distant from your child doesn't mean that you're not physically present, You might even be in the same house. The child is in his room or her room. She's on her phone. She's on her device. You have no clue what she's up to. And that's how, sometimes children get involved with going on. Parents who are uninvolved also have difficulty showing warmth. We tend to think that it's natural for parents to be warm to their children, but it's not. They usually, the ones who exhibit this parenting style, they are unable to show affection to their children. It's also like that they were also raised in homes where the parents were uninvolved. So they show little warmth, show little affection, offer little or no supervision. A home where the child might even leave the house and the parents are not aware. The child comes back at whatever time, the parents are not aware. That sort of thing. They might even be there, but there's just no connection. And children who grow up in these kind of homes, they have a kind of fear of attachment to other people. They don't understand what it means to bond with other people, and it will affect their relationships. No doubt about that. In fact, one thing that runs through poor parenting styles is how it affects people's relationships. So talk about a child raised in an authoritarian home. You just find out that they are suspicious of your motives. You say something, they are trying to analyze what you said, or you must have meant it this way, or you must have meant it. Deep down, they are insecure. Deep down, they are unsure. So they interpret or misinterpret what you said, and it hinders, close relationships. A child who is permissive, the good thing about it is that children like that are usually confident, over confident, if you like. They're not afraid of adults because they grew up in homes where adults treat them like equals. So they are your mature speakers in the classroom. They are not afraid. However, they are emotionally immature. So it might be a 40-year-old person, a 50-year-old person, if they don't work on it. So the good side is that you can work on it. If you realize what the problem is in good time, you can begin to work on it. But if they are left on their own, they could just become immature for the rest of their lives. And this will affect their relationships with friends, with colleagues, and even in their homes. So we can't talk about parenting, effective parenting, too much. We can't overemphasize the need to parent our children effectively, and that's one of the reasons we do what we do at skills. And then lastly, there's the authoritative. It sounds like authoritarian, but this is a different type of parenting style. This one has been said to be the most effective. This one kind of merges, takes a bit from authoritarian and a bit from permissive, and finds the balance somewhere. So these ones realize that their children are children. They realize that their children should be allowed to be children. However, they also set boundaries for these children. And they have expectations. So when the child does something wrong, they discipline them. But it's not the kind of discipline that comes from a place of anger because you embarrass them. They're protective of their children's well-being. Of course, they won't let you mess with their children. They will defend them, but they will also be firm with their their children. So these are some of the parenting styles and the effects that will